Hi, this is going to be an EFT session geared toward healing any sense that I have caused my disease, I'm to blame for my disease, the things I've done are why I've had any illness or problems. Obviously, people who will be meeting me here have different degrees and levels of either ways they've harmed their bodies or what they're living in right now in terms of health or have experienced over time. But it's a very common, very universal thing to especially as you're doing spiritual growth work and you're seeking to live into taking total personal responsibility, that can get twisted into it's all my fault, I'm to blame, I brought this on myself. And then you get into some punitive thinking, almost, unconsciously or very consciously and explicitly believing and saying, I don't even deserve to be well. I deserve to be punished, that kind of thinking. None of which is actually aligned with our highest good, what will support us to reach our potential, what our inner being believes, or how Source holds us. So whatever your belief system and however you think of these things, I really invite you to drop in and clear out all the negative thinking so that you feel empowered to create good health going forward, and your focus isn't on what is yet going to go wrong and any of the negative beliefs that you've got going with that. So that's what we're going to do, and I'm going to begin reading to you something from Abraham Hicks that just landed in my inbox today as I was thinking about creating this video. This comes from just signing up on the Abraham Hicks website for their daily emails, and this is what came to me today. I'm starting not right at the beginning. Most humans are approaching the subject of their physical well-being in a backward manner. Most people who are experiencing physical ailments let their physical condition dictate their mental attitude. In other words, their emotions are responsive to their physical condition. When they're in pain, they offer emotions of frustration, worry, anger, fear, and we're going to work on the self-blame related to all this. They want the condition to improve so that their emotional state can improve. Any illness or departure from physical well-being begins at a cellular level, but the overwhelming propensity of your cells is that of thriving all day, every day. Your cells are reclaiming balance at such refined and subtle levels that most people are completely unaware of the power and intelligence of their cellular bodies. Focusing upon good-feeling objects of attention is the most effective way of providing the optimum environment for allowing unhindered cellular communication and the ultimate thriving of your physical body. In other words, to heal ourselves, to live into our amazing self-healing mechanisms, we need to move away from our negative thinking, including self-blame, and move into giving our full focus to what feels good now, what we're doing well now, what we're living into now, how we're healing now, and harness with your thinking and your focus the amazing capacity your body has to keep healing itself. That's what it wants to do, not to punish you. Okay, so here we go. Invitation to join me with the EFT setup on the karate chop point under the line at the base of the pinky and tapping on the side of the hand. Repeat after me, and anytime you want to tweak the words to get to what's truer for you, or just tap silently if something doesn't fit, you do that. You do what you need to do for this to apply. Even though I know I've done some unhealthy and even harmful things to my body, even though I know I've done some unhealthy and harmful things to my body, I still deeply love and completely accept myself. Even though I know I've harmed my body, and I fear causing further disease down the line. I'd like to be gentle with myself. And right now, I completely love and accept myself. Even though I know I've done some unhealthy and even abusive things to my body. And I've blamed myself for illness. And I fear more illness coming. That's all my fault. I still deeply love and completely accept myself. Okay, now we're tapping on the crown. I have regret and self-blame about ways I've treated my body. Inner eyebrow point. I've already had illness and things that have gone wrong with my body that I blame myself for. Outer eye on the bone right next to the eye. Sometimes I predict illness and disease to come. Sometimes in a punitive way, as if I deserve it. Under the eye, on the upper cheekbone here, just below the eye. I don't want to believe that I deserve illness or that I deserve not feeling good. Under the nose. I don't want to be punitive toward myself. I don't want to speak to myself harshly, like a bad parent. Chin point, which is in the groove here below the lip and above the chin. I don't want to confuse taking responsibility for self-attack or actually predicting horrible things. Okay, the point under the round at the end of the clavicle, the inner end. I'd really like to let go of my past and the things I've done wrong. Or the ways that I've treated my body badly. I do have regret. I don't want to use regret for further self-harm. Okay, we're going to go to the point at the very base of the armpit, about a hand's width down. You're tapping on the side of the rib. Sometimes called the bra strap point, not applicable to everybody, but that's still the same place on the body. I am sorry I've been horrible to myself in so many ways. I'm sorry I have abused myself in any way. I'd like to stop that. I'd like to stop voting for what I don't want. When I imagine disease down the road, I'm voting for exactly what I don't want. I'd like to quit that. Crown. Now we're going through reaching for better feeling thoughts, truer thoughts, kinder thoughts, more aligned thoughts, thoughts that actually align more with inner being, with what you want. Actually, I've been on a healing journey. I've already entered a healing journey. Inner eyebrow point. And I'd like to stop believing I have to be perfect to heal. Outer eye. I'd like to stop believing I have to earn healing. Under the eye. I want the grace of healing to come in for every human being. I vote for that. Under the nose, over the upper lip. I want to stop focusing on what I've done wrong in the past. It's all been part of my journey. It's all normal human stuff. Chin point. I don't invalidate other people's journeys. Right now, I validate mine. Under the clavicle. It's part of a human journey to do unhealthy things. Right now, I accept my human journey. Right now, I welcome myself to the human race. Side of the ribs, under the arm. Right now, I acknowledge that to harm ourselves, we've got to be disconnected. We may be responding to trauma. We're failing to value ourselves. Somehow we weren't properly taught self-honoring behaviors. All of that is normal in a human journey. Okay, back to the crown. I'd like to stop treating it as normal to believe I deserve bad things. Inner eyebrow. There's way too much self-blame in my journey in general. Outer eye. I'd like to trade in self-blame. Replace it with curiosity. Intention to heal. Under the eye, upper cheekbone. I'd like to focus more on my body's marvelous capacity for healing. Under the nose. I'd like to focus every day on my marvelous capacity to heal. Chin point. I'd like to remember daily that my body only wants to come back into alignment. Under the clavicle, I know I don't support alignment when I'm in self-blame. Under the arm side of the ribs. I know I don't support alignment when I'm predicting disease in the future. Crown. I'd like to catch those things faster. I'd like to interrupt it when I'm in that mode. Inner eyebrow. I'd like to stop mid-sentence and change my self-messaging. Outer eye. I'd like to do in the moment what I'm doing here. Reach for better feeling thoughts, truer thoughts, kinder thoughts. Under the eye. I'd like to reach for thoughts that actually support me to walk through. Walk through my pain, through my past, through a hard moment. Under the nose. I'd like to walk myself toward healing. I'd like to stop abandoning myself. Chin point. I'm in self-abandonment when I'm predicting disease for myself. I'm in self-abandonment when I blame myself for something going wrong in the body. Under the clavicle. I actually know that that feels off. I'd like to trust what feels off in my own body, in my heart, in the jolt I feel when I hear myself speak or think wrongly. I'd like to trust what feels off. Under the eye, under the, no, that's actually the arm, side of the ribs. I'd like to trust my capacity to course correct. I'd like to trust that I want to move toward alignment. I don't have to go down a rabbit hole of negative thinking. Crown point. In fact, I want to acknowledge right now that I've gotten better at bringing awareness to it, that I'm already learning to interrupt the thoughts that don't serve me. Inner eyebrow, and I'm going to keep getting better. I'm going to keep practicing. I will interrupt myself whenever new awareness comes in. Outer eye, this doesn't have to go perfectly. Sometimes I can interrupt myself quickly. Under the eye, sometimes I'll be 2 weeks down a rabbit hole and interrupt myself. It's okay. It has to be. That's reality. Under the nose. I'd like to learn to celebrate the moment of awareness. Chin point. I don't want to beat myself up for what I catch myself in. I want to celebrate catching myself. Under the clavicle round. Yay, I'm on to myself. I hear that it's off to attack myself. I caught myself in the future and now I'm coming back to now. Under the arm. I'd like to get better at coming back to now. I'm going to tell myself more often, bring it to now. Crown. I'd like to do that even if I'm harming myself right now. Inner eyebrow. I'd like to catch myself in the behavior. So everybody picture it or say it. Overeating, eating the wrong things, eating compulsively, pouring another drink, smoking, you know what you do. Just being a couch potato, not doing the things I know that if I get up and do them, I'll feel better, I'll feel healthier. Be with what you might catch yourself in again. I'm willing to catch myself there again. Outer eye. I'm willing to catch myself kindly. Under the eye. I'm willing to interrupt what I'm doing. Under the nose. If it has too much momentum and I can't interrupt it, I'd like to at least locate the witness. Chin point. I'd like to locate the witness who can look at me watching me, from a place of compassion. Remembering that this is normal human stuff I'm observing. Under the clavicle. I'd like to watch myself the way my angel watches me. If you need to replace that language with anything else, could even just be the neutral gaze of the universe. Under the arm. I'm actually better at self-witnessing, and I'm going to keep practicing. Crown. Even if I consciously choose to do something that's not great for me or that's bad for me, I'm going to bring the witness along. Or let the witness in as soon as I can. Inner eyebrow. I don't need to shame myself. I do need to believe in my own capacity to heal. Outer eye. Right now I believe in my capacity to heal. Right now I appreciate my capacity to heal. Under the eye. Right now I can name one thing or several things that I've done toward healing already. Please do that now as you keep tapping. Under the nose. Right now, I affirm that I can heal more. Chin point. Right now, I affirm that the thrust of the universe is toward healing and evolution. Under the clavicle. That applies to me. with this universe. I am not separate. Side of the ribs, under the arm. Right now, I affirm that I feel bad when I harm myself because my inner being knows this isn't aligned. Right now, I affirm that I feel bad when I blame myself. Because my inner being knows that self-blame is unwarranted. Top of the crown. Truer is that I'm still healing. It's truer that I have trauma that needs to keep clearing. It's truer that there's not a straight line, direct trajectory toward healing. It's truer that I'm actually on a healing path. Inner eyebrow. Right now, I forgive myself for past self-harm, past unhealthy habits. Outer eyebrow. Right now, I forgive myself for steeping in fear of disease instead of moving toward health. Under the eye. Right now, I forgive myself for thinking I don't deserve well-being. That was taught to me. That doesn't come from source or grace or reality. Under the nose. We're going to go through my forgiveness prayer for all those things we just spoke and whatever else needs forgiving. I forgive myself. Chin point. And where I can't or don't know how. Universe, you forgive me for me. Under the clavicle. And hold that while I catch up to it. Under the arm. Right now, I acknowledge that the healing is complete. The forgiveness is complete. Crown point, somewhere beyond time and space. I have forgiven myself completely. I have released all disease. I have released all self-blame. I have embraced living into grace and my body's marvelous capacity and impulse toward total healing, ongoing rebalancing, embracing my evolution. Now, close your eyes, stack one hand over the other on your lap or whatever feels good to you to really ground and drop in. More than anything, feel the sensation, the reverberations of the tapping. Breathe into how you feel right now. Breathe into the healing and expansion. Thank you for practicing with me. You can tap anytime. If If you need to do a quickie, 1 round will do. I like doing 1 round of the negative thoughts, and then 3 rounds is my preference. I don't know, sometimes it's ideal to do more. Sometimes less is all we've got, and it does something. So I invite you to tap. Thank you.